All right, and then my ratio tables. So one way we can fill in a ratio table, so a ratio table is just a way, again, to compare equivalent things. And we've got columns going down, we've got our headings at the top, and then the rows are going across. That's where my equivalent ratio is. So here we have 3 cups of sugar for 4 cups of flour. So one way we can figure this out is by skip counting, just doing multiples. So if I need 3 cups of sugar and 4 cups of flour, well, what if I add 3 more cups, or I double it to 6 cups, then I need to add 4 more flour, so I would have 8. And if I add another 3 here, I need to add another 4 here. It's keeping my ratios equivalent so that my cake or my lemonade, whatever this recipe is, we want to have flour and lemonade, whatever the recipe is, has tastes the same. And I can see here, here's my blank, I gotta fill that one in, so I'm gonna look over here, and again, I'm adding 4 flour. So we notice every time we add 4 flour, we add 3 sugar. So 3, 6, 9, I'm gonna add 3 more, and I get to 12. I get to 12. So that's one way to solve a ratio table. Now another way to do it is we can look at maybe doubling. Doubling is something easy to do, multiplying by 2. So we have green beans and price. So this would be something you use in a grocery store. And 3 pounds of green beans cost $6. So I'm gonna look to see how am I going from 3 to 6. So I'm adding another 3 green beans. So I'd have to add another $6, but we like to use multiply a lot when we do ratios. So I'm doubling it. So if I double my amount of green beans, I have to double the price. 6 times 2 gives me 12. Next I have 12. So I can think, okay, can I go from 6 to 12? I can. I am just doubling the number of green beans again. So I would double my price. 12 times 2 gives me $24. So that means it's $24 for 12 pounds of green beans. Again, my numbers on this side, I'm going down, how can I go from 12 to 24? I'm just doubling it again. And so I would double my price if I double the amount of green beans. So 24 times 2 is 48. That is one way to throw in or to fill in a table like this, is by doubling and doubling. And then the last one, sometimes it doesn't work all so nice and easy. So here we're gonna say you can make 8 hamburgers with 2 pounds of meat. And sometimes the cool thing about ratio tables is you can jump all over the place. So we're gonna have to do a little bit thinking here. We're gonna think, all right, 8 and 2 is my initial or my original ratio. So my first number is 4. How am I going from 8 to 4? Now we wanna remember that we're either multiplying or dividing. So here, I wanna know 8 times some number is gonna get me to 4. Or actually, I'm gonna write it, I can write my ratio as 8 to 2, and we're trying to get down to 4. I might know in my head that that's half of it, or I'm dividing by 2. So I'm gonna cut this one in half, or divide it by 2, and half of 2 is 1. Okay. So then if I can see my next ratio, it jumps around again. So I'm still starting with my 8 and 2, but now I have 16, and my 16 is on my right side. How am I going from 2 to 16? I might need to think 2 times what number gives me 16 to undo that times. I would divide, and that's 8. So that means 2 times 8 is 16. So if I times my pounds by 8, I have to times my number of hamburgers by 8. So I would get 8 times 8 is 64. So that means if I need 64 hamburgers, I need 16 pounds of meat. And then my last blank, I'm gonna go back to my original, here you go, ratio of 8 to 2. And I'm trying to figure out how many pounds do I need for 32 hamburgers. So I'm gonna put my 32 on the left side, because that's my hamburger side. And I'm gonna think 8 times what number is gonna get me to 32. And I would divide to figure this out, or I could use my multiplication chart. And that's 4. So that means I'm doing 8 times 4 to get to 32. So if I'm quadrupling or timesing by 4 my number of hamburgers, I gotta times my amount of meat by 4. So I would do 2 times 4 is 8. So 8 would go into that last spot. Going up to the original helps you to find the other ones. Just think about what can I multiply by, multiplying both of them by the same thing. You can jump around, you can just keep doubling down, or you can just use skip counting, but it all depends on what the numbers are there, and you're gonna have to think, what am I missing?